Hi, I'm Tony Preston. I'd like to talk today about doing a little bit of work that leaves you better regulated, not as anxious, not as tired, not as irritable. I've used this a good bit. Sometimes before session I'll take 2 minutes and step out and do this particular stretch, and it takes me from being either tired or irritable down to being very well regulated and being able to focus. I've used this when I'm teaching, I've used this when I'm sitting at the desk working, I've used this when I'm just generally irritable, and it would really serve me to be in a better place. This is based on Stephen Porges' work with polyvagal theory. Polyvagal theory talks about how the vagus nerve and its ability to work properly affects our ability to regulate and to get out of fight or flight, and especially when dealing with other people. There's a good bit of that written about him on the web. You can find some references on Wikipedia if you'd like a place to start. This stretch involves taking tension off of the structures around the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve comes out of this hole here in the bottom of your cranium called the jugular foramen. Once it comes out of there, it passes through this big muscle here, or not through the muscle, but actually in a sheath behind this muscle right here, and heads into your thorax. And so if we can let tension off of these structures behind the head and let tension off of this muscle here, it opens up that sheath and very practically makes people better regulated. I've put this on my site before to talk about hangover and some other things that are, really about people being dysregulated. It does a great job of solving those problems. Let's go right into the stretch. I use ice and stretch for this, so if you'll get an ice cube and a washcloth, that's helpful. What we want to do is to first start back here on the back of the head. I want to ice along the very back of the head, and then I'm going to do that AIS stretching where I do 2.5 stretches. Do 4 of those. Going to ice over behind that ear, especially right up under that ear, and then I'm going to turn and dry real well. I got a couple of nice little pops in there. Those pops are good for you unless you're doing something pretty forceful. Those pops are like popping your knuckles. It's just an air bubble that says that the joint has opened up and the muscles around it tend to relax when those joints are no longer binding. So I've stretched the back, I've stretched the sides and the back and opened that up. Now I'm going to go directly for that big muscle right through here. I'm going to ice from behind my ear all the way down into that muscle, all the way down to that little notch in my collarbone. Now this muscle is stretched because it attaches here and here. I stretch it by turning my head. Okay. And let's do the other side. There's that big muscle. I'm going to ice that little ridge behind my ear, maybe a little bit right up under my ear, run down that muscle, right down to the notch, and a little bit onto my collarbone, there. And now I'm going to stretch in the other direction. You should feel a little tension probably at the base of your head when you do this. And that's it. If you want a more complete release, you might find it even more relaxing to do a full stretch of the box. You can look up the box on my website, Integrative Works. But this quick little stretch here helps out a lot. You can do it anywhere, as long as you have an ice cube. If you're at work or something like that, you might consider putting a little bit of icy hot through here and doing that same set of stretches, icy hot in the back and icy hot along through here, and doing that same set of stretches, and you'll get a very similar effect. I'm Tony Preston.